Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu navigated the treacherous northwest wilderness on snowmobiles, maintaining a cautious speed of 40 to 50 miles per hour to avoid overturning in the heavy snow and strong winds. After more than 2 hours of travel, they reached a desolate area where landmarks were scarce due to the thick layers of ice and snow covering the ground. Uncle Yu used a distant white mountain peak as a reference point, guiding them toward the foot of the mountain where scattered buildings were faintly visible. He identified a bathhouse named Qiankuan Bathhouse, owned by a former comrade, which served as a crucial landmark for locating the nearby military camp. Uncle Yu explained that the bathhouse was popular among soldiers for providing a place to spend their monthly allowances and relieve stress, a fact that amused Zhang Yi. Using the bathhouse as a reference, Uncle Yu spotted a watchtower in the distance and pointed out the general direction of the military camp, recalling the approximate location of the armory from his past visits. Upon arriving at the designated spot, they discovered that the armory was completely buried under tens of meters of snow, rendering it inaccessible. Uncle Yu expressed deep regret, fearing he had led Zhang Yi on a futile journey, but Zhang Yi remained calm and optimistic. He carefully memorized the surrounding landmarks, including the watchtower and the officer's office building, planning to return with an excavator once the snow melted. The two decided to head back as evening approached, knowing the return journey would take several more hours. Meanwhile, in the residential area, Li Changbin led a group of neighbors in a retreat from Building 21, where they had engaged the Mad Wolf Gang. The attack had been costly, with over a dozen of Zhang Yi's residents killed or injured, despite managing to eliminate 5 or 6 enemies. The survivors were exhausted and demoralized, complaining about the heavy losses and the futility of the assault. As they retreated, several middle-aged men voiced their discontent, criticizing Zhang Yi for staying behind while they fought and died. They questioned the purpose of the attack, noting that they had lost more people than they had killed in previous conflicts as well. Li Changbin, walking at the front, frowned at the muttering and shouted to silence them, reminding the complainers that Zhang Yi had provided them with food and kept them alive. He emphasized that without Zhang Yi's resources, many would have starved, and he warned them to keep their mouths shut to avoid further trouble. The tension among the residents was palpable, with some feeling dejected and others resentful of the leadership's decisions. Despite the heavy losses, Li Changbin felt a sense of smugness, calculating the rewards he would receive from Zhang Yi for his efforts in leading the attack. Tensions within Building 25 reached a breaking point as Luan Chang, a bespectacled resident, openly mocked Li Changbin for defending Zhang Yi, accusing the leader of treating neighbors as expendable cannon fodder. This sentiment resonated deeply with the crowd, many of whom had lost family members in recent clashes with the Tianhe and Mad Wolf gangs. Luan Chang amplified the resentment by alleging that Zhang Yi hoarded high-quality food while feeding the residents scraps, arguing that Zhang Yi's snowmobile made his foraging efforts trivial compared to their lethal frontline duties. The atmosphere turned toxic as neighbors voiced grievances, claiming Zhang Yi's contribution was negligible and that they were being manipulated. Li Changbin, initially defiant, was paralyzed by the mob's collective anger and backed down after Luan Chang quietly threatened him, revealing a shared, dangerous conspiracy against Zhang Yi among the dissenters. Upon his return with supplies, Zhang Yi publicly rewarded Jiang Lei and Li Changbin with braised pork rice and distributed extra food to the group, yet he detected a subtle shift in the atmosphere, noting cold rejection in the neighbors' eyes. Unbothered by their growing suspicion, Zhang Yi remained confident that their fear of Chen Zhanghao's pistol and his control over sustenance kept them subservient. He viewed them as lowly individuals easily controlled through the threat of violence and the promise of basic survival, dismissing any need for genuine respect. When Uncle Yu handed designer clothes to Xia Limei, sparking envy, Luan Chang boldly requested high-quality winter gear, pointing at Zhang Yi's professional clothing. Zhang Yi feigned agreement but immediately proposed a trade, skipping food deliveries to focus on finding clothes. The neighbors instantly rejected this, admitting they could endure the cold but not starvation. Zhang Yi smiled, having successfully reinforced his dominance by forcing them to choose between immediate survival and long-term comfort, ensuring they remained dependent on his terms. Zhang Yi's day is dominated by the harsh reality of scarcity and the looming threat of the Mad Wolf Gang. He begins by rationing the last of the food, a grim reminder of recent losses that have left his group thin and desperate. The absence of familiar faces weighs heavily on him, but a brief respite comes when Zhou Kur, his devoted servant, offers a steaming pot of braised beef brisket and a foot soak, lifting his spirits enough to focus on strategy. The military camp northwest of Tianhai City remains a tantalizing source of weapons and ammunition. Zhang Yi evaluates the practicality of retrieving heavy gear from the snow, concluding that while tanks and armored vehicles are out of reach, rifles, grenades, and RPGs are within grasp. He also considers the feasibility of a united attack from the surrounding buildings, ultimately deeming it unlikely due to their lack of power, tools, and physical stamina in the extreme cold. With the camp's armory buried under snow, Zhang Yi resolves to first amass enough wood for a deliberate, large-scale fire that could choke the gang's escape routes and force them into a deadly confrontation. He plans to cut down damp trees outside to sustain a blaze that will rise and suffocate the enemy before they can flee. Meanwhile, he keeps this plan secret, preferring to avoid open conflict until he is fully prepared to wipe out those who threaten his safety in one decisive blow. Zhou interrupts the quiet with a warning about the rising death toll in their building and the possibility that neighbors are colluding with outsiders. Zhang Yi dismisses her concerns with calm indifference, reminding her that he has never trusted anyone from the start. Their conversation turns personal when Zhou asks if he trusts her. In a surprising moment of vulnerability, Zhang Yi declares that she is the only person he trusts, a statement that moves Zhou to tears and deepens her devotion. The evening ends with a tender gesture. Zhou offers to help him wash, and Zhang Yi accepts, all the while reflecting on the necessity of emotional manipulation to secure loyalty in a world that offers no guarantees.